Okay, you kids, if you're seeing this, when you play video games, they usually have like a, PlayStation would have like their logo and it'd be really cool looking. But when I was a kid, it was 8-bit graphics, okay? And even before that, it was Atari, which was even worse, which I showed you. But 8-bit graphics was a big deal, except it could never make the picture look exactly like the real picture, of course. So the Kraken Books logo was transferred into 8-bit. And that little jingle is exactly what you would hear when you would put in a Nintendo game. Except when you put in a Nintendo game, you had to take the cartridge and you had to blow into the cartridge, because that made us kids think we had to blow into our game to get all the dust out. And then you'd put it in there into the Nintendo, and you'd have to put it down, but sometimes you'd have to like put it down to where it barely locked in, where it wouldn't go in all the way. You really had to be tricky with Nintendo games. Look how excited I'm getting over this. But there was a way to, whenever your Nintendo games got worn out, you had to put them in a certain way, and then you'd press power, and then they would like show this intro to a game, because of whatever the video game designer was, okay? So that's why I have that 8-bit looking Nintendo introduction for Kraken Books, okay? And you probably are like, I don't know what he just said, what he's talking about, but I know what I'm talking about, so that's the important thing. So now that I've said all that, let's get to... All right, I went to Schwartz Elementary in Oklahoma City. Actually, Midwest City, which is just connected to Oklahoma City. You never know when you're in or out of a suburb of a big city. So, Schwartz Elementary School, a very, very nice school. And the kids were they were into my presentation a lot, and I loved it. And so you kids were excellent. You were great listeners, and I just had a blast. It was pretty nice weather that day too. Yay, that's always nice. All right, so Schwartz Elementary gave me 3 things, and okay. So here they are: outer space, a baker, and then extravagant. Which is interesting, because not too many times I get a word like extravagant. So I came up with an extravagant story, I hope. And I already read it to you kids, but I told you I would make a video. So here we go. I'm going to read it again. And I'm going to try to do it extravagantly. Okay, here we go. Space, the final frontier. At least that's what some have said. But Steve had one extravagant mission in life, and it involved the baking of bread. He was tired of being just another baker here on planet Earth. I will take my baking skills to a whole new atmosphere. This will increase my self-worth. He didn't bother telling NASA or other companies such as that, because putting a bakery in outer space would certainly cause a spat. It took Steve 2 measly little months to come up with something bold. The hard part wasn't building the rocket or surviving in space. It was creating a bread that wouldn't mold. Finally, Steve figured it out, and he started on his plan. He was gonna be the most extravagant this side of the galaxy outer space baker man. And then at 7:05 on the 5th of November, something appeared on NASA's radar screen. The scientists scratched their heads at the sight of a bakery space machine. Steve's intergalactic extravaganza bakery broke through the Earth's atmosphere, and all the hungry workers at NASA let out a great big cheer. After he was out of orbit, Steve breathed a sigh of relief and grinned. He flicked on the neon open light. It was time for the fun to begin. Nobody showed up, and he checked his watch. He'd been open for 3.5 hours. Earth kept getting smaller and smaller as he kneaded the yeast and flour. Still not any customers, he sighed as he again checked the clock. Maybe they flew by and didn't think there would be any place to dock. He put the dough in the oven and did a quick check of his bakery ship. "I don't understand. Everything looks fine," he said with a hand on his hip. Steve waited and waited for a customer to arrive through the bakery door. He kept stacking up his extravagant bread that piled from ceiling to floor. Earth was no longer visible and Mars looked just as boring. The wonderful, exciting bakery he had in mind just kept soaring and soaring. Months passed by and then so did years, and age got the best of Steve. He couldn't believe not one customer showed up since the day he was able to leave. And before he died, there was one final thought that went through his extravagant head. "I wonder if someday this ship is found, there still won't be mold on my bread." The end. Alrighty, that was, I really had fun with this one, Schwartz, because, every one of these stories I do, it's a lot of fun. I just, whenever I get the ideas in my head, the three things, it's like, you just picture, automatically I pictured this guy baking bread in outer space, and it's just silly. But I'm glad you gave me those three things. That's what makes it so much fun. And if any of you kids would like to have me do a story for you and make a video, in the comment section of any of the videos that I do, just leave me three things, okay? Give me three things that are different from each other, such as extravagant and outer space and baker, but don't give me those. But three different things, and give me your first name and the city and state that you live in, okay? And I will eventually come up with a story for you and make a video, all right? I'm not overwhelmed with requests just yet, but I do have a lineup of stories I'm doing. And if you're able to subscribe to this channel, that's wonderful too. I think I have 182 subscribers right now, and that is, I'm almost at my goal of 183, and so we're going to get there, but thank you for watching. This was a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll be able to do your story someday soon. So see you next time.